What's good, y'all? Welcome back to ACEON Consciousness, and we're just going to connect some dots today, starting with cymatics. Now, if you are unfamiliar with what cymatics is, here is the textbook definition. All right, it says cymatics is the study of visible sound and vibration, exploring how acoustic energy creates geometric patterns in physical mediums like sand, water, or powder. There's the textbook definition. Here's a quick video to show you visually what cymatics looks like. Some of you have probably seen this before, something like this before. Now pay attention here. So as the frequency goes up, the higher the frequency, the more complex the pattern gets. So just watch as every time it kicks up, the pattern gets more complex and more complex. So that's the visual example of cymatics. Now, as you heard, the pitch got higher, the frequency pattern got more complex, but that's just what our ears can pick up. So at some point, the frequency is going to go beyond what the human ear can pick up, but the pattern's still going to be there, right? It's just we can't hear it because it's either too low or too high of vibration. Same thing with like visual light. Our eyes can only take in like a small fraction of the visible light spectrum. So there's things that we think what we see is everything, and that's not even close to what is actually visible or what's actually there. It's just what our eyes can pick up. So same thing with, hearing certain frequency. We can only hear between, I don't know the decibel range, but between here and here is what we can hear. But on each side, there's things that we can't hear that are still there. So as you can see, there's cymatics. So I'm watching The Language of Creation by David Murphy. He's also known as allegedly Dave. And I come across this clip.
So interestingly, some of you might have heard about this, that all the music in the world has now been changed over. The frequencies of the music have been changed over from 432 hertz for middle A to 440 hertz. Now that doesn't sound like an awful lot of difference, but as you can see here, the pattern on 432 is a very nice harmonious kind of pattern there, and the one for 440 is dissonant. It's just a kind of mess. In 1939, there was military acoustic warfare research, and they were investigating how sound, particularly music, would affect people. And they discovered that by shifting the frequencies over just a little bit, it would induce hysteria. 1939 was when they discovered it, but they started putting it into practice in the 60s. Elvis and the Beatles were biological weapon tests. Literally, the hysteria that went along with Elvis in America and the Beatles here was because they were testing this shift in the frequencies. That's why there was that hysteria. We've got used to it now, so we're in kind of low levels of hysteria when we're listening to this music.
All right, so now at first that might not seem like a big deal or anything, but for me, in my dot connecting brain, I see this image right here, and it's not the 432 hertz, it's the 440 hertz. And it's not even the 440 necessarily, but it's the pattern that it's giving off, which is that, if you can see it, there's this hexagonal pattern in there. And that immediately took me to this clip by Jordan Maxwell.
And on the planet Saturn, on the North Pole, is a hexagram. A lot of people don't know that. Go on the web and just look for Saturn's hex, or the hex on Saturn, and you will see a large hexagram, far, far bigger than the Earth could ever be. A large hexagram on the North Pole of Saturn.
When it comes to Saturn research, Jordan Maxwell is probably at the tip top of the ones who have done their Saturn research. David Talbot's another one, and the other big one, I say David Talbot because you got this book right here, The Saturn Myth. But we're not talking about that today. But the other person who's always going to be talking about Saturn, who has been talking about it for a while and the connection with it, is the great David Icke. So let's see what David Icke has to say about it and the connection into as it goes along to what we're talking about today. And this is from his speech, The Saturn Moon Matrix.
Oh, another ancient symbol of Saturn is the black cube, which you see all over the place. And this is interesting. We're going to get now into how this matrix actually works. This is a permanent hexagon storm in the North Pole of Saturn. It's 2 Earths wide. And it's going all the time, and it rotates exactly in sync with Saturn's radio emissions. And in geometry, the hexagon is also the six-pointed star, and is also the cube. They are different expressions of the same energetic state. And so when you look at this is just a crop circle, but that's coincidental. You look at that crop circle, and it's a hexagon, a flat hexagon. Look at it again, but see it three-dimensionally, even though it's exactly the same picture, and it becomes a cube. They are different expressions of the same energetic state. So a hexagon is also a cube, is also a six-pointed star in geometry. And therefore, this cube, the Kaaba at Mecca, is a symbol of Saturn, and that's what they're worshipping, though they don't realize it, though the inner circle will.
All right, so to close this episode out, there is a couple things you can connect dots with. Basically what's going on here is that there is some energetic sound frequency that's coming from Saturn that's not a good one, and we are stuck in that vibration. So everything's been shifted. We're not on the 432, the God frequency, what we've originally been given as humans, and to vibrate at that frequency where everything just is much, much better, we'll just say. And somehow, some way, through manipulation, we've been shifted. We're kind of in a middle frequency that's that kind of chaotic state, and it's coming from Saturn. There's a lot of ties, a lot of connections back to Saturn. All the religions, so much symbolism, it all ties back to Saturn. Why Saturn? That's for other episodes. That's in that book I showed you. There's a lot more to it, but you have to be really open to it, and you have to push aside all the nonsense that we've been taught and that they've been pushing since, we were in elementary school, and just all the stuff we've been told. You got to question everything, because I'd say 95% of it is bullshit. So have discernment, stay open to it, and keep watching these episodes. This is ACEON Consciousness, and I'm out.